now call this meeting of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association Student Senate to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to begin our Student Senate meeting taking place on Thursday, September 7th, 2023 with a land acknowledgement. We recognize that Kansas State University, as the first land-grant institution, stands on the ancestral lands of the Kaw people. Our state of Kansas is home to 4 federally recognized Native nations: the Iowa, Kickapoo, Prairie Band Potawatomi, and Sac and Fox. We must remember that the land serving as the foundation for this institution was and still is stolen land acquired by white settlers. We pledge our commitment to creating decolonized spaces at the university while advocating for the support and future success of Indigenous faculty, staff, and students at K-State. With that, Speaker Pro Tem Kappelman will take it away with our first roll call.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Abadir, Atchison, Ayers, Bellamy, Biggs, Blood, Broughton, Bruckner, Cup, Koch, Compton, Cuesta, Dennis, Drotz, Duntz, Fogel, Glasscock, Griffith, Heatherman, Hoffmans, Jacobson, Kirchen, Kidd, Kermer, Long, Lynn, Melcher, Moore, O'Malley, Oury, Pondillo, Porter, Rios, Rivard, Rodriguez Melendez, Saya Nick, Streetman, Strunk, Sushanik, Williams, West, Wolf, and Zatko. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Brady. We'll now move into our first open period. For first open period this evening, we have Marshall Stewart. Are there any questions? Chair Long. Chair Cuesta. Caucus Leader Atchison.
So there's 4 campuses there tied to extension. We're done here. Kansas State University will be the dominant, but we will also draw from our other institutions where it makes sense, where they have capacities we don't have. We'll also draw from community colleges and others that want to plug into the system. It's something that makes the land grant unique. That will only, important point, the only place you find extensions is in land grant university. So it's a uniqueness we have that KU doesn't have, that Pittsburgh State doesn't have, nobody else has but us. And we want to definitely leverage it to enable us to draw more people to Kansas State University.
Time for questions to expire.
Chair Questa. It has been moved and seconded. Are there any objections? Seeing none. Director Chiefchi. Brian. Caucus Leader Kidd. Senator Glasscock.
Stewards of our own property. You know, we need to model that here. So we build new buildings, are they LEED certified, for instance? You know, LEED certification is something that pretty much you're gonna do if you do a new building now, which basically gives you, as most of you know, probably the standards of making sure that your environmental.
Time for questions again has expired.
Senator Kermer. Any objections? You have 10 more minutes.
You want to make sure that your
Granted. Chair Broughton. Chair Blood. Comms Director Coy. Senator Koch.
weren't able to come here because it was too expensive, but the FAFSA doesn't show that.
Right, so I don't mean to stop you. Like, a lot of questions tonight, thank you all, but time again has expired. Sorry.
Chair Lynn. It has been moved and seconded. Any objections?
We write.
Chair Sushanik. Caucus Leader Kidd. Are there any further questions? Awesome. Seeing none. Oh, sorry, Sophia.
Again, sorry. Time for questions has once again expired.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us. Awesome. Are there any further first open period speakers? Seeing none, we will move into approval of the minutes. The minutes were distributed on Tuesday along with the agenda and legislation tracking information. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So, Caucus Leader Atchison. It has been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Those will stand approved. Announcements. First, we are still recruiting to the Emerging Leaders Program. They had their first meeting tonight, but please recommend anyone that you know through the referral link in the announcements. Second, proxies. If you're going to be absent from Student Senate, please fill out the link, even if you aren't sure if your absence will be excused. 3, if you are physically absent from Senate but would like to attend via Zoom, please fill out the Student Senator Zoom request form. Speaker Thomas will review requests based on the Student Senate attendance policy. 4, want to give props to someone in Senate? Fill out the Senate shoutout form. It makes it way more fun when you fill out shoutouts. Speaker Pro Tem Kappelman will read those out at the end of the meeting. 5, SGA Member of the Week is Ibrahim Chiefchi. Ibrahim has been hard at work coordinating with all of our multicultural groups on campus and is really getting himself in front of new students. Thank you so much for your continued support. We have our upcoming events calendar, and the quote of the week is, "A K-Stater is someone who knows purple is more than a color." Amy Button-Renz. We will now move into approval of appointments. Is there a motion to consider Resolution 232425? Senator Griffith. It has been moved and seconded. Will the author please come forward?
Resolution 2324. 232425, approval of new student senator. Authors Aaron Blood, sponsors the Senate Operations Committee. Whereas there's currently one vacancy for the position of student senator for the College of Arts and Sciences, and whereas Emily Haynes has the next highest vote total for eligible and willing candidates in the 2023 SGA general election in the College of Arts and Sciences, be it resolved that Section 1, the following individual be approved as a student senator for the College of Arts and Sciences, Emily Haynes.
Are there any questions or corrections for the author? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve Resolution 25? Caucus Leader Kermer. It has been moved and seconded. Are there any objections? Seeing none, it will be approved. Emily, if you would like to come down and get sworn in. Awesome. If you will say, "I will" at the end, raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of student senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Awesome. We're going to have you introduce yourself with your name, major, hometown, pronouns, favorite smell.
Favorite smell?
Favorite smell.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Emily Haynes. I'm an English major with a classical studies minor. What else? Sorry. Oh, my hometown. I'm from Overland Park, Kansas. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And my favorite smell is probably vanilla or caramel. Thank you.
Thank you. Now that we have exhausted approval of appointments, we will move into committee reports. Are there any committee chairs that would like to give a report tonight? Chair Cuesta.
There we go. Just a quick service announcement. The next 2 Sundays, I will be giving funding workshops for student organizations and their presidents and treasurers. So the dates on those are Sunday the 10th at 4?
2:30, but you will be speaking.
Yes, yeah, 2:30, and the 17th at 3. So if you guys want to spread the word on that. So thank you.
You had a question. Would someone like to defer speaking rights, though? President Stout. Brian.
For the one, I think both of them are just walk in. I don't think that you have to RSVP or anything. Is that it?
Are there any further questions? Thank you. Are there any further committee chairs that would like to give a report tonight? Awesome. Seeing none, we will move into directors' reports. Are there any directors that would like to give a report tonight? Director Tucci.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ibrahim Shifchi. I'm a sophomore in medical biochemistry, and I will be the new Multicultural Affairs Director for the upcoming term. I just want to come here and introduce myself, address some concerns, give you some quick updates. Real quick, though, mark your calendars. This Sunday, 6 to 9, DMSA block party. Free food, free everything. We have like a pop-up shop for one of those bracelets you put. I think they're called like Forever bracelets. And they're like 35 bucks. Apparently that's a good price for it. So 6 to 9 this Sunday, just outside of the MSC. They like reserve the road or the roundabout or whatever. So free food, yeah. All right. As Multicultural Affairs Director, obviously last semester we had a lot of concerns between SGA and MSOs. MSOs meaning Multicultural Student Organizations. My goal this year is to build these connections, build these bridges, and make SGA a more welcome space. A lot of multicultural students struggle with coming here, feeling left out, eventually dropping out. And a lot of those are integrated right here within our SGA system. So I encourage all of you to not view this as a resume builder, but view this as a connection builder for the upcoming year. That being said, it starts with all of you, and I encourage all of you to attend as many MSO events as you can. If you have any questions on when those meetings are, because there's a lot, you can directly contact me through email, but please do let me know. I want to go on a quick update. The Office of the Diversity and Multicultural Student Affairs is now being officially changed to the Office of Student Belonging and Inclusion. This move is to just make sure that we actually are a K-State family. We're not just focusing on multicultural students, but all students of diverse backgrounds. Another change is the LGBTQ plus center is now being called the Spectrum Center. I believe that got approved Wednesday, and I found out about it last Wednesday in my meeting with Mirta Chavez. And lastly, I want to leave you with a quote from my dad, and I want you to keep this in mind. Don't forget who you are or where you come from, or you'll forget where you're going. As K-Staters, we're going into a new generation. We take pride in being the first land grant. We take pride in having a family environment, but we can say all these things and not actually do them. So as a senator, I encourage all of you to remember this quote and just be more open and willing to learn about not only multicultural students, but also welcoming them into this environment and having for them a place to stay and express their concerns. With that being said, I'll open up for questions if you do have any.
Are there any questions for Director Chifchi? See, oh, did you have one? Oh, Chair Rotten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would honestly, we have a lot more similarities than differences. We just like to focus on the differences a lot more. I've been living in Manhattan for like 13 years now, so I can connect with all of you guys. But going to these meetings doesn't mean just showing up, but actually talking with them, talking about what you like to do. I like talking about, I like playing basketball. I like to listen to rap, stuff like that. I encourage you to be yourself, build these connections first, and then the action will come later. And I know it's going to take some time, and it might be even after I leave, we take a big step. But the first step is building connections. And once you have the trust and the relationships between these orgs, and you have a welcoming environment here within SGA, then you can finally start taking action and actually making a change for once.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you. And the MSO block party is going to be a lot of fun. I know that I will be there and a lot of your student leaders will be there. So it'll be a good time. If you need any more information, feel free to reach out to me or to Director Chifchi. Are there any further directors that would like to give a report? President Stout.
I'm disappointed by the lack of introduction this time. I'm sure you guys are too.
You only get it once.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Just touching back on a couple things I talked about last week. So the SAC retreat happened this weekend as promised. There was 21 students in attendance. There was 3 people from the 6 Regent universities, and we also had Washburn and KU Medical Center join us. And it's very clear that we all have different SGAs and that K-State is doing pretty well comparatively. So at this retreat, we heard from Dr. Stewart, gave a pretty similar presentation to what he gave last night. And he does all of that off the cuff, which is really impressive. I talked to him 1 minute before his presentation, and yeah, he did a good job. We also heard from Carla Wiscombe. She serves Kansas Board of Regents as the Academic Affairs Director, and she's the advisor to us. Chair John Rolfe, the chair of the Board of Regents. Blake Flanders, president and CEO of the Board of Regents. And then we also had the K-State Government Relations team come in, Matt Casey and Jalen Lane. They just talked a little bit about what Higher Ed Day is going to look like. This morning, I sent out the letter I talked about regarding the All-University Career Fair. I sent that to the deans, and that just outlined a few data points and statistics that the Career Center had gathered about the career fair, and then it also just reminded the deans and the provosts and them of just the university policy of instructor excused absences, and just gently reminding them that student professional development is very important and should be encouraged. Last thing I want to talk about is the state of the university, the launch of the plan. You guys had an abundance of questions, but please do not let that discourage you from going tomorrow. I think if tomorrow is as important as they've alluded to it being, I want there to be as many students there as possible. So let's make sure as students we're there when the next generation starts. And yeah, hope to see everyone there. Anyway.
Are there any questions for President Stout? Seeing none, thank you. Are there any further directors that would like to give a report tonight? Awesome, seeing none, we will move into final action. Will the author of Bill 232402 please come forward? This bill was referred favorably from Senate Executive Committee 8-0 to 0. Have there been any changes?
No changes. So I introduced this last semester because I kind of came to the realization that we didn't have a good sort of outline about what you're supposed to do when we don't have committees, and this just solves that problem. Hi, Carly. I think it's pretty simple. I would encourage a yes vote. Thank you.
Awesome. Is there any debate in the negative? Is there any debate in the positive? Is there any debate at all? Seeing none, we will move into a roll call vote.
All right. Abadir. Atchison. Ayers. Bellamy. Biggs. Blood. Broughton. Cup. Bruckner. Koch. Compton. Cuesta. Dennis. Drotz. Dunce. Fogel. Glasscock. Griffith. Haynes. Hartzell. Heatherman. Hoffmans. Jacobson. Kidd. Kermer. Kinsey. Long. Lynn. Melcher. Moore. O'Malley. Oury. Pelton. Peterson. Pondillo. Porter. Rios. Rivard. Rodriguez Melendez. Rogers. Syed Nick. Syed Carly. Salmon. Streetman. Strunk. Sushanik. West. Williams. Winger. Wolf. And Zatko. Awesome. All right, Bill 232402 will pass on a vote of 42 to 0 to 0.
Okay, up next we have Bill 232404, amendments to the KSU SGA Elections Regulation Code regarding chalking. Will the author please come forward? It was referred favorably from the Senate Operations Committee, 5 to 0 to 0. Have there been any changes made?
Yes. After 7 o'clock, we struck PM and capitalized PM, and an Oxford comma was added after the words website in section 3.
Okay, you have first rights to debate.
Excellent. So this has been quite a while since we've talked about this piece of legislation. I think it was the last or second to last Senate of the previous semester. And so just for a bit of context here, this bill is adding language under our campaign materials section, saying that in section 3, where it's the removal section, it says all general election candidates shall remove campaign materials from campus property by 7 p.m. the day following the general election, with the exception of chalk. So kind of the reason behind this is that the next day following an election, people don't have to go out with a water bottle and scrape chalk off the side of the roads and like things. So I think that this adds common sense to our statutes, and that we should vote in favor of it because of that. So that's it.
Thank you. Seeing that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Chair Blood.
So I find it to be completely reasonable that there be limitations on how long that we have campaign materials out. It doesn't matter what form those campaign materials decide to take. The people campaigning, running for a position, have the choice of what mediums they decide to go out and use to communicate their message and their candidacy. If they decide to use chalk, they should find a way to remove it properly so that the entire student body, our electorate, is not burdened with the eyesore of different campaign materials after an election. Within my community back home and within many, many communities, there's limitations on how long signage can be out for different elections, right? Because we don't want to always have to be talking about politics and elections every single day throughout our society, right? And for chalk to not be removed, the weather patterns are ever changing. How do we know that even by the time the next year rolls around, that chalk may still be there? And in that instance, it could even cause confusion for the next election. And so with that, I'd say we need to have a limitation of some sort, whether that's 2 days, whether that's a month, whether that's 5 months, on when to limit chalk and other campaign materials and keep it consistent. The statutes of the state of Kansas allow us to do this after 2 days after an election. It's completely reasonable for us to have our own limitations as governed by this body, and I don't think that it makes any sense to add these changes today.
Seeing as that was debate in the negative, is there debate in the positive? Chair Long.
Senators, I have a confession for you. Myself and Nick Sy are criminals. We've ran for Senate 3 times and been elected 3 times and chalked for 2 of those. You know what I didn't do by 7 the next morning for both of those? Wash off chalk. By legal rights, we could have campaign violations and be barred from taking our offices. But some of the previous speakers' points can be, we can examine those. So you've all been to Kansas State University before, and most of you who are not freshmen have seen the aftermath of an election. Now, do you think, have you ever walked out the morning afterwards and seen the name Long Saya in chalk on the ground and said, "Gah, I feel burdened. I wonder if there's another election coming." If the answer to either of those is yes, then please vote with the previous speaker. However, I don't think that is true. Thank you.
Thank you for that debate. Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any further debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Chair Sushanik.
Hello. I wanted to speak tonight as one of the people that had to take a water bottle, even though it was sprinkling out on a Friday afternoon, and spray chalk off of the sidewalk. And I think this is a little absurd because I think we all know at this point that SGA has difficulty having a broadly known presence on this campus. A lot of people don't know what SGA does, what we are, who we are, what we stand for. And the one time a year that we really get to get out there and show who we are and show what we do is during election season. So I think having undue burden upon senators promoting SGA in any fashion does a disservice to the organization as a whole, and we need to remove barriers and make it easier for senators to campaign, because campaign season might be the only time or the first time that students on this campus hear about student government. So I think if the chalk lasts a whole year, perfect. I hope they pass it every day and they think about the work that student government does, and they think about joining student government and running for Senate themselves.
Thank you for that debate. Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any further debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Is there any further debate at all? Seeing none, Brady will take it away with a roll call vote.
Abadir. Atchison. Ayers. Bellamy. Biggs. Blood. Broughton. Cup. Bruckner. Koch. Compton. Cuesta. Dennis. Dratz. Dunce. Fogel. Glasscock. Griffith. Haynes. Hartzell. Heatherman. Hoffmans. Jacobson. Can you repeat that? Kidd. Kidd.
Yes.
Kermer. Kinsey. Long. Lynn. Melcher. Moore. O'Malley. Oury. Pelton. Pondillo. All right. Porter. Rios. Rivard. Rodriguez Melendez. Rogers. Syed Carly. Syed Nick. Salmon. Streetman. Strunk? Sushanik? West? Williams? Winger? Wolf? And Zatgo? All right. Bill 3 will pass on a vote of 38 to 5 to 0.
Okay, moving on to Bill 2324-0, that should be 5. Amendments to the KSU-SGA bylaws regarding local relations director. Will the author please come forward? I know it should be 04. The last one should just be 03.
Yeah, no corrections or anything have been made on this. Do we just go straight into debate? Right? Okay, awesome, sweet. I think the legislation is just like pretty clear in what it does, but I do want to like reiterate a quote that Caleb said during his speech. But I liked whenever he said local no longer describes the extent of K-State's role in this world. I think that this position is going to, it still is going to do the things that local relations did, but now it also, gives the position charge to do more than just the local relations and, and work with advocacy groups and different organizations and businesses that are not just in the Manhattan area, but in Kansas City. And especially like whenever Marshall was up here, he was talking about, it's not just about Kansas anymore, it's about going to these other states that we border with. And I think that's a really important piece of what this position is going to be working on.
Thank you. Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? And is there any further debate at all? Seeing none, Brady will take it away with a roll call vote.
Abadir? Atchison? Ayers? Bellamy? Biggs? Blood? Broughton? Cup? Bruckner? Koch? Compton? Cuesta? Dennis? Drotz? Dunce? Fogel? Glasscock? Griffith? Haynes? Hartzell? Heatherman? Hoffmans? Jacobson? Kidd? Kermer? Kinsey? Long? Lynn? Melcher? Moore? O'Malley? Oury? Pelton? Peterson? Pondillo? Porter? Rios? Rivard? Rodriguez Melendez? Rogers? Saya Carly? Saya Nick? Salmon? Streetman? Strunk? Sushanik? West? Williams? Winger? Wolf? And Zatgo. Bill 4 will pass on a vote of 40 to 0 to 0.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to Bill 2324-07, the fiscal year 2023 closing of accounts. This was referred favorably from Senate Executive Committee, 8 to 0 to 0. Will the author please come forward? Were any changes made?
No. So basically all this bill is it's taking the money that clubs applied for last year and we're taking it back into our reserve accounts. So it's a very standard process that we do every year. And this just allows us to build up our reserve account. So if we are somehow go over our budget in any of our respected areas, we will have these funds come back to us so that we can use them to give out to clubs once again this year. Any questions?
No, there are no questions.
Okay.
We do questions on introduction. Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? So any further debate in the positive? And is there any further debate at all? Seeing none, you may take it away.
Abadir, Atchison, Ayers, Bellamy, Biggs, Blood, Broughton, Cup, Bruckner, Koch, Compton, Cuesta, Dennis, Drotz, Dunce, Fogel, Glasscock, Griffith, Haynes, Hartzell, Heatherman, Hoffmans, Jacobson, Kidd, Kermer, Kinsey, Long, Lynn, Melcher, Moore, O'Malley, Oury, Pelton, Peterson, Pondillo, Porter, Rios, Rivard, Rodriguez Melendez, Rogers, Saya Carly, Saya Nick, Salmon, Streetman, Strunk, Sushanik, West, Williams, Winger, Wolf, and Zatgo. All right. Bill 7 will pass on a vote of 42 to 0 to 0.
Thanks, Brady. Seeing as there is no introduction of legislation tonight, we have exhausted our legislative agenda, and we will move into second open period. Senator Zatko?
Yes, sorry, I have a correction to suggest for that previous,
The closing of accounts?
yes, on line 54, Frontier is spelled wrong.
All right, we'll fix that. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any speakers for second open period? Senator Dennis.
Hi, everyone. I'm not inviting you to a show this time. That's next month. But as some of y'all know, I am also one of the grad assistants for the Center for Student Involvement. As Carson alluded to earlier, we do have our student leader retreat on Sunday from 2:30 to 5. So if you or anybody you know is a new president or VP of a student organization, I highly encourage you to come. We will be talking about what the CSI offers. We'll be talking about the finer details of our new policies. We'll be talking about fundraising, basically anything you'd want to know at the top of the year. So we will be there to have questions. Obviously, I will be there, and we would just really like to see as many student leaders as possible. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Are there any questions? Senator Griffith had one. Oh, I assume they have second open period speeches in that case. Senator Griffith.
Tomorrow, from 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to 10 p.m. I'm going to move the mic up because the last speaker was short. To 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Board Game Club, room 206 in the Student Union. Be there or be square. Any questions?
Senator Porter.
The time zone is Central Standard Time. What part of my demeanor makes you think that I care?
Are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you. Chief of Staff Brown.
Hi guys, as Kate said, my name is Jake Brown. I'm your Chief of Staff for this year. I just wanted to go ahead and address the whole room because I was thinking when I was a new senator, all that time ago, what did I think of exec branch? And I just wanted to let you guys know, like, you've gotten to see Ibrahim come speak. You've gotten to see some of the directors come up and give reports. Please, 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 as the legislative body, if you have ideas or you have legislation that you think, you know, oh, like I could use another idea on this, or I could use like bouncing this off, or I wonder what other resources there are to try to pursue like the goal that I'm trying to achieve with this legislation, please contact our directors. Our directors exist to serve the entire student body, and especially you guys. Like, you guys are the ones trying to write legislation and develop initiatives. Please contact our directors. I just wanted everyone in the room to know that they're supposed to be a resource for you, because I know when I was a new senator, I didn't know if I could really send that email or if I could really get a hold of that person. So please, I just want to encourage all of you to reach out if you have any questions. And yeah, that's it.
Are there any questions? Awesome, thank you. Are there any further second open period speakers tonight? Awesome, seeing none, we will move into Senate shoutouts.
All right. Shout out to Chair Blood for the weather patterns that confuse all of us during an election. Shout out to Chair Long and Nick for being criminals. At least someone admitted Kansas weather is all over the place, ... Me, Brady Kaplan, for being a great speaker pro tem. Shout out to me trying to dodge stepping on the chalk in Bosco on the way to Seton in the morning. Shout out to climate change leaving the chalk there forever. To me, the shout out form for being such a good form. To Room 206 and the Student Union for hosting the board game club tomorrow from 7 to 10. Congrats to Brian, in parentheses Blood, for taking Tucker Carlson's airtime. And shout out to Evan for knowing the correct time zones. And that's all we got for tonight.
Awesome, there is no reference of legislation tonight, so we will take it away with second roll call.
Abadir, Atchison, Ayers, Bellamy, Biggs, Blood, Broughton, Bruckner, Cup, Koch, Compton, Cuesta, Dennis, Dratz, Duntz, Fogel, Glasscock, Griffith, Haynes, Heatherman, Hoffmans, Jacobson, Kirchen, Kidd, Kermer, Long, Lynn, Melcher, Moore, O'Malley, Oury, Pondillo, Porter, Rios, Rivard, Rodriguez Melendez, Saya Carly, Saya Nick, Streetman, Strunk, Sushanik, Williams, West, Wolf, and Zacko. All right, thank you.
I am looking for a motion to adjourn. Senator Oury. It has been moved and seconded. Are there any objections? Have a good weekend, everybody. The Chiefs are tied at the end of the second quarter, if anyone was curious.